Right. Hari, ulamai පොඩ්ඩක් confirm කරන්න. Like we did up to multi-agent systems. ළමයි ළමයි මං කියන එක clearly ඇහෙනව නේද? ළමයි මාව ඇහෙන්නේ නැද්ද ඔය පැත්තට? දීලක ජනුද ඔනෙලි right, okay. Right. ඔනෙලි අපි MS multi agent system වෙනකන් නේද පුතේ කරේ last time? මේ example for agents කියන එක කතා කරා අද multi agent system වල ඉඳලා යන තියෙන. Yes, right, okay. හරි. right. එතකොට multi agent system එකක් කියලා අපි කතා කරා අපි agents ලා ගැන last time කතා කරා. So we I told you to consider an agent or like an agent software as a human being, right? So it's not entirely a human being, but it has the ability or the some of the characteristics of a human, right? So when it comes to the multi-agent systems, this is like people working with other people, right? අපි community එක වැඩ කරන විදිහ තියෙනවානේ නේද? අපි එකතු වෙලා වැඩ කරන විදිහ. So the same kind of a concept goes in MAS or the multi-agent systems. So multi-agent systems, there are more than one agent in the environment. So those agents will be working like in a different aspects, right? So as per the aspect or like as per the goal that is given to them, they are divided into two parts, which is benevolent agents and self-interested agents. So now benevolent means very cooperative one, right? So they work as a team, right? And they try to accomplish the goal like together, right? හැමෝම එකතු වෙලා හැමෝගෙම සහයෝගයෙන් තමයි වැඩේ කොට දාන්න බලන්නේ, right? And self-interested agents are like competitive ones, right? So still they are working together, right? They are exchanging the information and like responding to each other and doing those things, but they have their own goals, right? And they try to reach that particular goal with the help of the others and the information and the cooperation. But they have respective goals when it is self-interested. Into the benevolent one or the cooperative ones, they have a common goal to achieve, right? And මෙතන මේ diagram එකේ පෙන්නලා තියෙනවා වගේ cooperative කට්ටිය නැත්නම් benevolent agents ලා කියලා කියන්නේ they are planning the big task will be decomposed to each other and ask them to achieve that their part to be fulfill the final goal, when it comes to the self-interested agents or the competitive ones, they negotiate, right? And they get strategic action to overcome or to achieve their individual goals, right? Then අපි අරගත්තොත් මේ ස්මාර්ට් රූම් එන්වයරන්මන්ට් එකක් කට ඒජන්ස්ලා ඇප්ලයි කරලා තියෙනවා කියලා බැලුවොත් එතන තියෙන්නේ benevolent agentsලා ඉන්න විදිහක් නේද temperature sense කරන එක ඊට පස්සේ temperature handle කරන programs ළඟට air condition system එක handle කරන programs so ඒ දේවල් වලට agentsලා appoint වෙලා තියෙනවා නම් they just take in the details and like the common goal is making the environment a pleasant one to the people who are living inside it, right? ඒක benevolent agents ලා type එකේ. now self interested උනාම දැන් අපේ e-commerce website එකක අපි අරගත්තොත් products වලට දාලා තියෙනවා agents ලා, right? product by product, right? categories වලට කියලා හිතන්නකො like electronics වලට එක්කෙනෙක් households වලට එක්කෙනෙක් ඒ විදිහට like for different categories there are different agents, so they are given the goal to make maximum profit out of it, right? so they interact with each other and they collect the details and collect and see what are the interest or what are the behavior of the customer, and they make their category interested to the customer with that particular information, right? එහෙම කරලා ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ පැත්තෙන් ඒගොල්ලන්ට තියෙන profits වැඩි කරගන්න ඒ එක එක්කෙනා individually ක්‍රියාත්මක වෙනවා, right? now if you take about like a situation like this then corona situation එකේදී මිනිස්සු ගෙවල් වලට උනාම ඒගොල්ලෝ entertainment පැත්තට වැඩිපුර බර වෙනවා, right? ඒතර e-commerce websites ඔය trend එක study කරාම ඒගොල්ලන්ට පේනවා like there is a like demand jump in the කියන්නේ demand එක වැඩිවීමක් තියෙනවා entertainment devices වලට, right? speakers, bluetooth speakers, some TVs or monitors or games kind of things, right? ඊට පස්සේ අනිත් පැත්තෙන් අරගන්න පුළුවන් නේද sanitizing පැත්තට අදාළව තියෙන, right? කියන්නේ අපි health related products ඒ පැත්ත වැඩි වීගෙන යනවා, right? ඉතින් එතකොට ඊට පස්සේ ඔය වගේ එක එක branches තියෙනවා where they can focus individually and they can like learn the trend what is happening. දැන් ඒගොල්ලෝ ලංකාව focus කරලා බැලුවම ලංකාවේ මොන products වලටද මේක වෙන්නේ. එතකොට එක product එකක demand එක වැඩි වෙනකොට ඒ product එකට අදාළව තියෙන related products වල demand එක වැඩි වෙනවා, right? so for that they need to exchange the data, right? they have to negotiate, but ultimately their goal is to do more sales from their category, right? so they have a competition, right? so likewise benevolent agents, the cooperative ones, so here they have given some examples to you. Examples are team of fire brigades, disaster rescue team, right? those kind of things. Agents are assumed to be act truthfully, yes, in the benevolent, the cooperative one, it should be, right? otherwise their common goal will fail, right? An agent have been designed to help whenever it is asked for, which is called cooperative distributed problem solving approach, right? ඒගොල්ලෝ එකතු වෙලා තමයි problem එක solve කරන්න බලන්න, right? so whenever they ask to do their task, they are designed to do that, right? ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ algorithm එක ලියවිලා තියෙන්නේ මේ විදිහට. and when it comes to the self-interested one, now the examples are arrival management system for airport with number of different airlines, reverse auctions, e-commerce again as I told you, right? so agent tries to maximize its expected utility. then reverse auction කියන එක පැත්ත ගැන කතා කරොත් නේද, we know what is reverse auction is, right? so in that place customer need one particular thing. As an example, if you take the mobile phone, so customer is requesting a mobile phone, there are buyers who are trying to bid for the customer's request and trying to make a sale, right? So හිතන්නකො බයස්ව 10 දෙනෙක් ඒගොල්ලන්ගේ වැඩේ software agents 10 දෙනෙකුට බාර දීලා තියෙනවා. So the same product, right? So the same requirement. Customer is requesting a mobile phone. So those 10 software agents will produce the details and will market the product in a way that the customer is interested to buy that particular one, right? The data දෙනාගෙන් එක්කෙනෙක් තමයි එතනදී දිනන්නේ, right? The data දෙනාට individual goals තියෙනවා to sell their own product, right? So agent tries to maximize its expected utility. Yes, it is. And agents know what their options are and what the payoff will be. Yes. So like a man is working, right? Then මනුස්සයෝ 10 දෙනෙක් reverse auction example එකේදී mobile එකක් විකුණනවා නම් they will try to give best features for a lower price, comparatively lower price, right? So the same thing goes with the agent. So agent know what to be provide and what are the payoff for that, right? And the strategic deliberation and decision making, yes, strategically දේවල් ටික අපේ performance සිදු කිරීම සහ decision make කරන එක. So it is there to do by the software agent but not entirely by them, right? ඒගොල්ලන්ට human involvement එකකුත් එන්න ඕනේ එතනට, right? Yeah, මේ last point එක ඒක example එකකට against දාන්න ගිහලා මට තේරෙන විදිහට example එක නැතුව මගේ අතින් type වෙච්ච දෙයක් agent based system in finance selling process. So ඒක cut කරලා දාන්න. last point එක settle කරගන්න එපා, right? First 4 points විතරක් self interested agents ට අදාළව කතා කරන්න, right? Then application of agents. මෙතනදී අපි කතා කරන්නේ මේ MAS එකක් ගැන, multi agent systems ගැන, right? Agents for workflow and business process management. So workflow and business process management, it is a huge thing to do. Workflow එකක් කියලා කිව්වම it has many processes inside the business, right? And those processes should be managed. So one just agent won't be sufficient to manage the different tasks happening inside the business, right? So they have to there should be like the separate agents which are being appointed for separate tasks, and they should work together to improve the business inside the organization, right? So which is done by the organization, right? And yeah, agents for distributed sensing, right? So now this distributed sensors වලට ඔතන අරගෙන තියෙන්නේ මේ fire brigade එකක් maintain වෙන විදිය multi agent system එකකින්. So if a fire alert is nearby, so the nearest fire brigade will be focus on that particular incident, and they will be attend to that particular manner and will do their maximum. But in case if it is not sufficient, they are about to contact the next nearest fire brigade to come and help with that, right? So on those particular situations, the sensors or like the communication should be distributed, right? කෙනෙක් වැඩේ කරගන්න බැරි නම් ඒක assess කරගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්න ඕනේ. Then the other one should be able to reach that point, right? So those kind of things should happen. ඒකට ඒගොල්ලන්ට ඒක හිතන්නකෝ කියන්නේ first fire brigade එක when they are reaching the point, the fire area එක කියන්නේ ගිනි ගන්න ප්‍රදේශය තව වැඩිපුර පැතිරලා යනවා. දැන් එහෙම වුණොත් first fire brigade එක එන situation එක නෙවෙයි, එයා එතනට ළඟට එනකොට තියෙන්නේ. එයා වෙතරින් එයා depot එකකින් depart කරනකොට තියෙන situation එක නෙවෙයි, එයා fire situation එක නැත්තම් incident එක සිද්ධ වෙන තැනට එනකොට තියෙන්නේ. එතකොට එතනදී කරපු calculation එක අදාළ තැනට එනකොට වෙනස් වෙන්න පුළුවන්, right? So that should be sensed by the other fire brigades as well. So the next nearest one should attend to the task, right? So that kind of a situation should be handled with the multi-agent systems, right? And as we talk, the agents for electronic commerce to provide an online shopping assistance who helps the shopper by suggesting, choosing, and providing more information about an item. So that is what we experience in when we are going for the e-commerce sites, right? And this human computer interfaces, right? So it is something related to the AI, so the artificial intelligence, right? So like එක හරියට අපි ඔෆිස් එකක වැඩ කරනකොට අපිට උදව් කරන්න රොබෝ කෙනෙක් ඉන්නවා හා සමානයි, right? So they know what we are doing. දැන් අර අපේ ඔය නෙළුම් කුළුණ එකට එකේ යනකොට දියසෙන් පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙන දියසෙන් රොබෝට් පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙනවා ඒගොල්ලෝ ඇසිස්ට් කරන්න කොහොමද මේක ඇතුලේ වැඩ කෙරෙන්නේ මොනවද දේවල් වලට ඇසිස්ට් වෙන්න ඕනේ කියන එක. It's just a simple example, right? So likewise there can be, right? Then අපි අරගන්න අපේ මොබයිල් ෆෝන්ස් වල තියෙන Google Assistant, Siri, Alexa වගේ applications ගත්තා, the same happens, right? So it is acting as a personal assistant to do or to make our work easy in the working environment, right? So they can always track what we are doing. Then අපි Siri අරගත්තොත් ඊළඟට Google Assistant අරගත්තොත් they can track the places that we are visiting, they can track the websites and the entertainment that we are doing, so they can suggest, right? And they can interact with lot of application. අපි එක තැනක task එකක් plan කරොත් ඒක calendar එකට update කරගන්න පුළුවන්. So lot of things can be interfered with that particular agent system, right? Then local work environment එකක් වුණාම it's not just one agent which is involved in. There are many agents which are providing many different services, right? And agents for information retrieval and management, right? ඕක ටිකක් broad idea එකක්, right? Okay, එක එක තැන් වලට පාවිච්චි කරනවා. දැන් මේ තියෙන සිටුේෂන් එකේ කොරෝනා ස්ප්‍රෙඩ් එක කොහොමද කියලා බලන්න නත් අපිට MS එකක සහාය අරගන්න පුළුවන්. So they can they are doing those kind of things, right? So they are gathering the information and they are analyzing it, right? And see what's the trending part and what are the how the coronavirus been infected on the particular countries and how the waves are going, right? So what is the current situation, right? එතකොට ඒක ලංකාවේ අද තියෙන සිටුේෂන් එක මීට කලින් ඇති වෙලා තියෙන රටක සිටුේෂන් එකක් එක කම්පෙයාර් කරන්න පුළුවන්. Then it can be analyzed whether it is going on the parallel way or not, right? So likewise ඔය ඒක එක උදාහරණයක් විතරයි. So likewise many different information retrieval and management can be done, right? And as for the network management, right? Network එකක් manage කරනවා කියන එක නේද? What they are trying to do is to like maintain a proper communication, right? So they can manage the internet connections, the data exchanges, right? And the routing paths, right? And the optimizing facility කියන්නේ අපි internet connection එකක් පාවිච්චි කරනකොට වැඩිපුර data අවශ්‍ය කෙනාට වැඩි priority එකක් දීලා අඩුවෙන් data අවශ්‍ය කෙනාට කියන්නේ data flow එක, right? manage කරගන්න පුළුවන් internet connection එක කොහොමද divide වෙන්නේ කියන එක, right? So those kind of things can be done by the agents when they are doing a network management kind of thing, as well as the security aspect, right? Can be taken care of the agents. And agents for predictions, of course, it is one good way of doing the prediction using the agents. Again, it is based on the information that they are receiving, and they can predict how particular incident is going to be, right? So as an example, I have said some system use NASA in monitored by these predictive agents. So like meteor එකක් එනවා නම් කොහොමද meteor rock එක එන්නේ, මොන පැත්තෙන් දෙන්නේ, ඉම්පැක්ට් එකක් වෙනවද පොළවත් එක්ක, නැත්නම් අපි බේරෙනවද මොකක්ද කියන එක right ඔය වගේ different kinds of predictions can be done, right? මොකද මේවා human hand එකකින් කරන්න ගියොත් it will be a huge it will take a lot of time, and it's a very there is a very big risk when we are doing it in manually, right? And we can use agent concept for traffic control and highway system management. Some simple examples, or like the simple way of doing it, right? So they can monitor the highway system and the traffic, and they can maintain or like manipulate the traffic lights according to that, right? As well as if there is an accident or some kind of a thing, they can manage how the other vehicles are to be avoid that particular thing, right? And finally, it's a use of multi-agent system to create some computer games and different coexisting environment, right? ඔතන කතා කරන්නේ ඔය අපි talking tomcat පාවිච්චි කරලා තියෙනව නේද? ඒ වගේ scenario එකක්. Then again, like 3D visualization, right? Interactive games. පැත්තට ගියායින් පස්සේ, so it is about the multi-agent systems, right? So they are like monitoring the gamer, and they will see what are the like the acts that we are going to do. Game එක ගහන කෙනා මොන මොන වගේ acts වලටද යන්නේ. So according to that they can change it. ඔයගොල්ලෝ games play කරනකොට experience කරලා තියෙන නේද? එකම incident එක 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 විදිහට සිද්ධ වෙනවා, right? එහෙම ගොඩක් games තියෙනවා, right? කියන්නේ අපි එක mission එකක් play කරාම ඒ mission එක fail වුණොත් ඊළඟට play කරගෙන යනකොට කලින් play කරපු විදිහටම නෙවෙයි mission එක arrange වෙලා තියෙන්නේ. So it is changing. So it depends on the way that we are playing. So it is monitored by this kind of a program, and they change the game according to the previous play, right? Which is going to be hard for you to play, right? Okay, so that is the story about agents and multi-agent systems. So hereafter we are going to talk about some other concepts where they reach or where they experiment regarding the computer sector, right? So one is the concepts that they're talking about beyond one Neumann architecture. Now one Neumann architecture is talking about the one Neumann architecture එක මම හිතනවා ඔයගලන්ට මතක ඇති කියලා, right? Where it takes inputs and they take it into the main memory, then the instruction is sent to the CPU to execute. So once the things are being executed, again the data will be taken by the main memory and will be stored in the secondary storage, as well as sent to the output devices, right? Like monitor, right? So that is what we call one Neumann architecture. සාමාන්‍යයෙන් computer එකේ data handle වෙන විදිහ, right? Now ඔතන ගැටලුව වෙන්නේ one Neumann architecture එකේදී අපි කතා කරන දේවල් වල මේ one Neumann architecture එක through data එහෙට මෙහෙට exchange වෙනකොට ඒ exchange වෙන time එක ඊළඟට the way they are going to execute a program is not very much discussed into it. It's just discuss the outer thing, or the outer picture of the computer system. එක නිකන් එළියෙන් පේන විදිය සාමාන්‍යයෙන් සිද්ධ වෙන විදිය, right? එතකොට ඔය විශේෂයෙන් ඔය second එකේ first sub point එකේ කියලා තියෙන එක assumptions that made about the time to read and write in the memory is negligible. Then data එකක් read කරන්න යන වෙලාවයි data එකක් write කරන්න යන වෙලාවයි ඒක නොසලකා හැරලා තියෙනවා. But when it is come to the high power performance computers, this negligent is acting a considerable time. Right? එතකොට ඒක තවදුරටත් නොසලකා හැරිය හැකි දෙයක් නෙවෙයි. Right? And the processor clock frequency එක predefine කරගන්න limit එක predefine කරගන්න බැරි වෙන එක. දැන් අපේ computer එක processor එකක් ගත්තොත් they are saying an optimal speed and the maximum that it can go. Right? නමුත් ඒගොල්ලන්ට guarantee කරන්න බෑ every instruction whether it is going to go on the maximum speed or in the optimal speed. ඒකයි ඒගොල්ලෝ speed දෙකක් ගැන කතා බහ කරලා තියෙන්නේ. Right? එතකොට ඒගොල්ලන්ට specifically කියන්න බෑ task එකක් ඉවර කරන්න මෙන්න මේ තරම් වෙලාවක් ගත වෙන්න පුළුවන් කියලා. It depends. Right? Up to the processor performance on that time. Right? So නොය වගේ කාරණා නිසා one human architecture, since it is talking about the outside or the outer line, they will just think about how they are going to cover up these things. මේක ගොඩක් වෙලාවට ගැටලුව වෙන්නේ දැන් computing කියන එක artificial intelligence පැත්තට තල්ලු වෙගෙන යන නිසා. right? එතනදී ඒගොල්ලන්ට latency කියන එක ලොකු ගැටලුවක්. මොකද ඒක real time system එකක සැලකිය යුතු කාලයක්. Right? So those kind of things are there to think beyond one human architecture. So you better know the problems, and these are the reasons, or like, as per the reasons why they are thinking about beyond one human architecture. මේවා නිකන් concepts තියෙන්නේ, right? So you just get to know about it, right? And there are two other computing ways, which is nature-inspired computing and bio-inspired computing, right? So in nature-inspired computing, they are trying to build up a computer with the methods, or like with the behaviorance of the nature, right? So අපි අරගත්තොත් දැන් මේගොල්ලෝ මේ ඔය methods තුනකට classes තුනකට මේක capture කරගන්නවා කියලා තියෙනවා. The first one says those that take inspiration from nature for development of novel problem solving techniques. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ ස්වභාව ධර්මය කොහොමද ප්‍රශ්නයක් විසඳගන්න හැසිරෙන්නේ කියන එක. පැත්තෙන් දැන් නේද මේ වෙලාවේ තියෙන සිටුේෂන් එකත් අපිට ඕක ඉන්වෝල්ව් කරගන්න පුළුවන්. කොහොමද කොරෝනා වෛරස් එක චේන්ජ් වෙන්නේ? ඒතර ඒ චේන්ජ් වෙන pattern එක අඳුනගෙන ඒ pattern එක they use it as an algorithm to build up the problems, right? So what they are trying to do is they are trying to create a program which act in the very same way that the nature acts, right? And like අපි උදාහරණයක් විදිහට අරගත්තොත් ඔය පරමාණුවක් වැඩ කරන විදිහ. right? කොහොමද පරමාණුව හැදිලා තියෙන්නේ? එයාවට ඉලෙක්ට්‍රෝන්ස් තියාගන්නේ කොහොමද? right? ඔය කියන nature එක study කරලා they trying to build up that algorithm, right? Then they try to develop programs based on that algorithm where it works like a nature related thing, right? So the main fields are there. So ඔය ටික පොඩ්ඩක් දැනගෙන හිටියට කමක් නැහැ. පාවිච්චි කෙනෙක් examples විදිහට ඕගලන්ගෙන් අහුවොත් පොඩ්ඩක් ඒක ඕගලන්ට කතා බහ කරන්න පුළුවන්. right? So the artificial neural networks, evolutionary algorithms, swarm intelligence. So මේ සමහර ඒවා අපි කියන්නේ මම ඕගලන්ට විස්තර කරන්න මට ලොකු දැනුමකුත් නැහැ. So just know as the names, right? Those kind of fields have been there to talk about the nature-inspired computing. And bio-inspired computing කියලා කියන්නේ basically ඒගොල්ලෝ biology මත බේස් වෙලා they do the research to understand how these things are being work, right? ඒ කියන්නේ DNA එකක් හැසිරෙන්නේ කොහොමද, right? අපේ systems එකිනෙකා එක්ක interact වෙන්නේ කොහොමද, right? So they just get to know about how these biological things work, and they're trying to match that with the computer algorithms, or like the with the computing, right? So as the second point says, commonly seen as philosophical approach. So the Bioinspired is used in a number of related fields of study within computing rather than field of study itself. يعني මම කලින් කිව්වා වගේ මේක computing වලට settle කර ගැනීමක් තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ try කරන්නේ, not about learning the biology, right? So like they are putting less focus on optimized high-speed algorithm and more focus on the traceability and dependability. يعني කොහොමද දෙයක් track කරගන්නේ, කොහොමද යමක් මත depend වෙලා ඉන්නේ, right? ඔය කියන දේ factors ගැන තමයි ඒගොල්ලෝ වැඩිපුර focus කරගන්නේ. එහෙම නැතුව කියන්නේ algorithm එක speed up වෙලා efficiency වැඩිපුර දෙන එකවත් optimize වෙන එකවත් ගැන නෙවෙයි Bioinspired වල ඒගොල්ලෝ වැඩිපුර focus කරලා තියෙන්නේ, right? So as the last point says, the Bioinspired computing often takes a small foundation of set rules and builds upon them by the way of unperceived deep learning in training, right? So they are basically based on the fundamental of the biology, and they try to like take something out into the computing area, right? Then we අපි ඔය science fictions වල වගේ දකින කියන්නේ මිනිස්සෙක් දැන් ඔගොල්ලෝ ඇවටා මූවි එක බලලා තියෙනවා ඇති කියලා මම හිතනවා. ඒකේ කරන්නේ මිනිස්සෙක්ගේ හිත තවත් බොඩි එකක් එක්ක කනෙක්ට් කරන එක, right? So it's purely biological, right? ඒක ඉන්නේ ඇවිද ගන්න බැරි මිනිස්සෙක් යාව වෙන creature කෙනෙක් එක්ක connect කරන එක, right? ඒතර එතනදී ඒ concept එක කොහොමද කරන්නේ කියන එක, it's a fiction, right? But we don't know, right? In the future that fiction can be a reality, right? ඒ වගේ වෙලාවක මිනිස්සෙක්ගේ එයාගේ තියෙන නේද conscience කියන එක, right? ඊළඟට එයාගේ activities කොහොමද ඒක match කරන්නේ, map කරන්නේ, ඔය කියන දේවල් ගැන තමයි focus වෙන්නේ, right? So the applications, it's huge, right? There is a list. Okay, through කියවගන්න, right? Some of the things that we have discussed in the previously. So like genetic algorithms, neural networks, biodegradable predictions, cellular automata, ඔය වගේ කියන්නේ අපිට ඉච්චර familiar නැති sectors ටිකක් තියෙන්නේ. So just can අපිට නිතරම මතක තියාගන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක් ඔය robot designing, sensory works, right? Network communication and protocols, right? Graphic rendering. එන්නේ දේවල් වලින් පොඩ්ඩක් ඔය කියන applications ටික මතක තියාගන්න බලන්න. Right, so the very last part is talking about the quantum computing. Right now, quantum computing, it is something related to the quantum physics, right? So which is a huge area, which I really don't have a very big knowledge about the quantum physics or quantum computing, but I can give you the base. Now, quantum computing is more capable than the general computing. It is because the base or the main reason is the unit that they are using for the computing, right? General computing world, we are using the bits, which has two states, which is 1 and 0. But when it comes to the quantum computing, they use a unit called qubits, and qubit has the ability of representing more than two states. Right? We don't need to bother about what are those states which is go beyond more than two states. ඒක හරියට අර අත් දෙකක් තියෙන මිනිස්සෙකුයි අත් දෙකකට වඩා වැඩිපුර තියෙන මිනිසෙකුයි වගේ. right? So අත් දෙකක් තියෙන කෙනාට කරන්න පුළුවන් වැඩ සීමිතයි. අත් දෙකකට වඩා තියෙන කෙනෙකුට ඊට වඩා වැඩ කරන්න පුළුවන්. So qubit is something like that. Right? So it so when the units are being higher නේද? එක කොටසකට කරන්න පුළුවන් වැඩ ප්‍රමාණය වැඩි වෙනකොට same amount of data will allow you to store more detail inside it. Right? Then bit එකකට store කරගන්න පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ 1 and a 0 and 1 or a 0. Alright, so likewise qubit will be able to store more than that. Right? So it will be faster, it will be smaller, right? When it is being mixed with the quantum computing, right? So these are the application areas where the quantum computing is affected, right? So like business trending, black box testing, we talk about the black box testing in the system, education technologies, medical service technologies, right? DNA computing, bioneural systems. Just remember as facts, right?
Sir,
oh,
sir, black box testing කියන එක පොඩ්ඩක් මෙතන explain කරන්න පුළුවන් මට ඒක set උන්නේ නැහැ sir system පාඩම.
black box testing කියලා කියන්නේ it's a simple thing. ඒ කියන්නේ මට මේක quantum computing පැත්තට දාලා කතා කරන්න බෑ, but I'll tell you the general idea. Black box test එකක් කියලා කියන්නේ like we always do the black box testing for things, the systems that we are taking. දැන් phone එක අරගත්තොත් අපිට phone එක system එකක් විදිහට සලකන්න පුළුවන්. ඒත් අපි අලුතෙන් phone එකක් ගන්නකොට the check-ins that we are doing is done on the black box testing techniques, using the black box testing technique. අපිට පුළුවන් වෙන්නේ input එකක් දීලා ඒකට against correct output එක එනවද කියලා බලා ගන්න විතරයි. That is what we call black box testing. We don't know what's happened inside the system, so the system is inside a black box. ඒකට black box testing කියන්නේ system එක ඇතුලේ සිද්ධ වෙන දේ පේන්නේ නැහැ. So we are giving the inputs and there is an expected output, so we are like looking for the expected output, right? ඒක හරියට දැන් calculator එකකට අපි black box test එකක් කරනවා නම් calculator එක අරගෙන 2 + 3 කියලා ගහුවම 5 කියලා අපිට screen එකේ පෙන්නන්න ඕනේ. And we won't be able, like we won't see like අපිට පේන්නේ නැහැ ඇතුලේ මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ කියලා. right? කොහොමද 2 කියන එක represent වෙන්නේ, add වෙන්නේ කොහොමද, 3 add වෙන්නේ කොහොමද, output එක generate වෙන්නේ කොහොමද, we don't know about that. But we see we can give the inputs and we can search for the expected output. The expected output එක okay නම් test එක pass. Expected output එක not okay නම් test එක fail. So then you have to like go into the programmer or the one who is responsible for that particular program, then report him the error. This kind of thing is there, so it's better you get it correct, right? So that is what we call black box testing. තේරුණාද දීලක? clearද?
හරි sir, thank you sir.
Right. Now the questions regarding these particular things, right? There are some questions in the 2017, 18 and 19 things. Right, let me see. Let me take the 2018 yeah, this is one of the famous one, right? So the first part is about the e-commerce, right? And the second part is about the software agents, right? Hold on, let me, there is a Similar kind of one in 2017, as I remember. Just a second. No. Right. මේකට පොඩි try එකක් දෙන්න බලන්න. Right, දැන් මේකේ software agents ලට අදාළ question එකට answer කරනකොට like you should have that ability to think on the question, right? මේක අපි දන්න දැනුමත් එක්ක උත්තරේ ලියන්නේ කොහොමද කියලා අපි උත්තරයක් හදා ගන්න ඕනේ. Right? So they have given you a particular scenario, and what they are saying is a software agent may or may not have a user interface. Do you agree with the above statement? State reason referring to the above figure. So ඕක හරියට ඔයගොල්ලෝ බැලුවොත් you can argue. Right? Try to write the answer. I'll give you 5 minutes. Right, only I got the answer. Let me see. Yes, perfect. That should be the answer to it. Good. Right, 2019 වල තියෙනවා ඔය ජාතියේම ප්‍රශ්නයක්. Right? If you got the past paper book with you, then past paper book එකක් නම් ගන්න ළමයි. Right? It's the high time for you to have a past paper book. Right? 2019 වල third question B part. I'm discussing the question by 10:15, this one. Right. I'll show you the marking scheme. Right. So this is how the marking scheme happens. The question number is third question B part. I think they have missed the page. Oh no, I'm sorry. I was looking for the 217 one. Sorry, my mistake. Yes, this is the answer. See, as illustrated in the diagram, an agent software has the ability to communicate with the user via user interface, agent A and user, as well as other agents, as well as in the multi-agent environment, agent A and agent B without user interface, without user interaction. So they are taking it in the self-autonomous manner, right? So ඔය points දෙක තමයි අරගන්න තියෙන්නේ. මෙයා මෙතන user interface එකක් එක්ක වැඩ කරන්න ඕනේ. Otherwise user won't be able to interact with the agent without a user interface. And here they are interact with the user with a user interface, and from agent A to agent B they are interacting without a user interface, right? So එතකොට මෙතන කියලා තියෙන්නේ ඒජන්ට් කෙනෙකුට user interface එකක් තියෙන්නත් පුළුවන් නොතියන්නත් පුළුවන් කියලානේ, right? So agent A is going to be the one we are going to focus, right? User එක වැඩ කරන්න user interface එකක් තියෙන්න ඕනේ, but for work with another program they don't need a user interface, right? 219 paper එකේ තියෙන එකත් චුට්ටක් බලන්න. I'll put you the 219 paper. Yeah, this is the paper. This is the one. And the question goes to the other side. තුන් දෙනා ගාවම පාස් පේපර් බුක් එකක් තියෙනව නේද? Because I can't show you the paper on one particular screen. Right, great. 2019 වල third question essay paper එකේ B part. Right, I'll discuss the question by 10:30, right? Give it a try. Right. Only I received the answer. Let me check. Okay. Yes. Yes, that is correct. First one is correct. Second one is correct. Okay. Third one. Yes, that is justifiable. Yes. Third one, yes, you can have marks. For the fourth. Okay. Yes, fourth one, yes, do. You can have the marks for that as well. And for the fifth part, yeah. Right. For the fifth one, I'll tell you when the things are discussing, right? Yeah. How about others? Do you need any time? Or are you done with this? Januda and Deelaka, are you done?
සර් තව අර පළවෙනි දෙක නම් කරගත්ත අන්තිම තුන ටිකක් අමාරුයි වුණාට මේ ඩිස්කස් කරමු අනිත් එක්කෙනත් ඕකේ නම් මට නම් ප්‍රශ්න
හරි
නෑ
දීලක
වෙලා යනවා හරිද
right දීලක කරන් යන්නකො ජනුද ඉවරද right okay let's discuss right okay all right so first it's good to understand the system right දැන් මෙතන මේ ඉරිකැල ටික නම් මේකේ හරියන්නේ නැහැ නේද පොඩ්ඩක් මේක right එනවා මෙතන ඊතල ටික ඇඳ ගන්නකම් හරියට so they have from A this point to A and yeah B is like this this is P yeah C is going to be both the sides and Q and R right so here what they're saying is multi-agent system can be useful when complex system interaction are implemented. The following diagram shows a simplified version of a multi-agent system that manages the secure access to the server room of data center, right? So server room 2 එක තියෙනවා, system engineer ඉන්නවා, keypad එක තියෙනවා, right? The brief scenario of the usage is as follows. All authorized system engineers must use the access code, which is 6-digit number, to enter the restricted server room, right? So එතකොට මේ keypad එකේ code එක දාන්න ඕනේ. When the access is granted to the server room, a set of movable CCTV cameras starts recording the server area, right? So the ඇතුලේ තමයි CCTV එක තියෙන්නේ. ඒක කියන්නේ access code එක grant කරයින් පස්සේ තමයි CCTV cameras record කරන්න start කරන්නේ. The process data of CCTV inputs are saved in the database. Interaction are shown using ABC PQR, right? So the questions are the questions identify the agent with no user interaction in this steps setup, right? Interaction නැතුව වැඩ කරන කෙනා. So there are two agents, which is agent 1 interact with the keypad කියලා කියන්නේ user interact වෙන තැන. So it has a user interactions, right? So then it's obviously it's going to be agent 2, right? Agent 2 is going to be the agent with no user interaction. So self-autonomous, right, in this setup. So agent 2 is going to be the first one. Then the second, sense compute control, is a widely used 3-step design style of an agent-based system implementation. From ABC interaction, separately identify and write down the most suitable interaction arrow to represent each step, that is sense, compute, and control. So if you look into the picture, so they are talking about this A, B, and C, right? So then The terms that they are talking about is, just a second, people. Right. So the words that they are talking about is a sense, compute, and control. So it's going to be sense, compute, and control. Right. So අපි හොයාගන්න ඕනේ sense කරන්නේ කොතනද, compute කරන්නේ කොතනද, control කරන්නේ කොතනද කියන එක. Right. So if you are thinking about the sensing part, right, අපි sensing පැත්ත ගැන හිතුවොත් sensing කියලා කියන්නේ user ගේ interaction එක අල්ල ගන්න තැන. So it's going to be the A, because keypad is the one who is taking the input, right? So the access code. So it is the place where it sends, right? So senses goes with A, right? And B is interacting with the door, right? And C is interacting with the database, right? So rest of the things is goes with the compute and control, right? So in the questions they say, hold on a second. Question එක ගන්න තියෙනවා බලන්න දෙයක් හිතන්න බලන්න. Yeah, hold on a second. Yeah. So now the thing is going to happen is system engineer will provide the code, and code will be sent by the line A, the arrow A. So agent will be taking the code and send it to the database, and will compare whether the access code is a eligible one or not. Then according to that, it will open the door. So the compute part happens with the C. එතන තමයි comparison එකයි කියන්නේ. compute වෙන දේ. comparison එක කියලා ගත්තමත් ඒක අපිට computing පැත්තට තමයි ගන්න වෙන්නේ. Right? So the C goes with the compute part. And then if the compute part is okay, then it will open the door. Opening the door means the controlling. Door එක open කරලා the door එක control කිරීමක් වෙන්නේ. So control goes with B. Right? That is how sense, compute, and control are being divided. Right? So the part C, third point is asking C and R interaction links are shown of two directions explain the reason for duplex links for both C and R interactions separately. Then C එකයි R එකයි. So C is the database, R is the C is relating the database, R is relating to the camera, right? So what should happen is, then database එක ගැන අපිට හිතා ගන්න පුළුවන්. Agent 1 should provide the 6-digit code to the database. Then database will compare the code which received and give it whether it is a correct one or not, right? So that of course maintained by the what we call using the agent 1, right? So actually it is a read and write operation that they are doing, right? So in here it says all authorized system engineer must be use the access code, which is 6-digit number, to enter the restricted server room. When the access is granted to the server room, a set of movable CCTV cameras starts recording the server room. So like go on, right? So agent 1 is interacting with the database to get solved with this 6-digit number, right? So it has to read from the database, and necessarily it may need to write the things into the database as well, right? Like කොයි වෙලාවෙද ආවේ කොන මොන වෙලාවටද ගියේ කියන වගේ දේවල් වලට database එක update කරන්න පුළුවන්, right? So the two arrows are there because it is taking the data from the database, which is reading, and the arrow towards the database is because it is entering or writing the data into the database, right? එකයි මම කිව්වේ මේක පොඩ්ඩක් practical විදිහට අපිට හිතන්න වෙනවා කියන එක, right? And regarding the camera, right? Camera එකට යන line එක, ඒ කියන්නේ agent 2 වල ඉඳලා camera එකට යන line එක camera එක control කරන command එක. මොකද මේකේ කියලා තියෙනවා when access is granted to the server room, a set of movable CCTV cameras start recording. ඒ කියන්නේ මෙයා කියන්නේ access grant උනායින් පස්සේ තමයි recording කියන එක සිද්ධ වෙන්නේ, right? So that means when the keypad is given the correct access code, agent will send it to the database and get clear with it. Then it will open the door, as well as agent 1 will inform agent 2 someone has entered to the room, right? මෙතන authorization දුන්නායින් පස්සේ. Then agent 2 will ask the camera, okay, you move and monitor, right? Or you start recording, simply. Then whatever been recorded is sent to the agent 2. That is why this particular arrow is there. මෙතනින් control command එක යනවා, start recording and start moving and doing the things. Then මේ පැත්තට එන්නේ what is being recorded. Then agent 2 will send those details to the database. හැබැයි නිකම්ම details නෙවෙයි යවන්නේ. මෙන්න මෙතන කියලා තියෙනවා the processed data of CCTV input are saved in the database. So CCTV data ටික agent 2 ට ආවම agent 2 will process those and send the processed data to the database. මොකද CCTV feed input එක කියලා කියන්නේ sometimes it's going to be a high resolution one, high capacity one, right? ඒක database එකට ගැලපෙන විදිහට නේද type conversion එකක් කරන්න ඕන නම් type conversion එක කරන්න ඕනේ, compress කරන්න ඕන නම් compress කරගන්න ඕනේ, right? ඔය විදිහට process කරන්න තියෙනවා. So simply agent 2 is processing the input what it is getting and then saving it into the database, right? So the reason why 2 arrows are there in the R to send the control signal to the CCTV and take the input of the CCTV into the agent 2, right? So then the fourth one is asking interaction A can be seen as interaction A can be seen as user to user interaction. Yeah, interaction A. What are they talking about? Yeah, interaction A can be seen as user to agent interaction. All right, okay, they are talking about this A. Right, user to agent interaction, identify agent to agent interaction and explain the operational use of that interaction. Yeah, agent to agent interaction shows in here in P, right? So it is about informing the agent to start the operation of the camera since the door has been opened due to the authorized entrance, right? කෙනෙක් අවසර තියෙන කෙනෙක් දොරෙන් දැන් ඇතුල් වුණා. So you start recording the like the CCTV thing. So you inform. So මෙතන මේ P එකේ එන interaction එක තමයි, it's just the informing agent to operate or informing agent to that an authorized access has happened to perform agent 2's duty, right? So that is going to be the answer for the fourth. And in the fifth, it's
Sir.
asking, oh, Dilaka.
Sir, ඒක පොඩ්ඩක් එක්ස්ප්ලේන් කරන්නකෝ හරි ඩොලට කියන්නේ.
ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් දීලක මේ P එක තියෙන්නේ දැන් agent 1 කියන කෙනා බලාගෙන ඉන්නේ මෙතනට හරි කෝඩ් එකක් දෙනවද? ඒ කෝඩ් එක මේ A කියන interaction එකෙන් එයා අරගන්නවා. අරගෙන database එකට යවලා ඒක ඕකේද කියලා බලලා මෙතනට control signal එක දෙනවා. දැන් දොර open කරන්න කියලා. එතකොට දොර open වෙනවා. දොර open උනයින් පස්සේනේ මේ CCTV record කරන්න ගන්නවා කියලා කියලා තියෙන්නේ. When the access is granted to the server room, set of movable CCTV cameras start recording. එතකොට CCTV එක connect වෙලා ඉන්නේ agent 2ත් එක්ක. එතකොට agent 2 ගෙන් තමයි CCTV එක control වෙන්නේ. එතකොට agent 2යි agent 1 අතරයි මේ P කියන link එක නොතිබුණා නම් agent 2 දැනගන්න විදිහක් නැහැ මේ කවුරු හරි කෙනෙක් enter වුණාද කියලා. ඒතර අන්නේ information එක තමයි agent 1 agent 2 ට යවන්නේ. inform කරනවා someone has entered into the server room. එතකොට agent 2 ට ඒ information එක ගියාම agent 2 දන්නවා okay කවුරු හරි ඇවිල්ලා කියලා කියනවා. So then I have to start recording. Right, then he signals to the CCTV, send the control signal to the CCTV, start recording, then whatever been recorded taken into the agent 2, processed and will be stored into the database. තේරුණාද දිලක?
ඒක එතන අර operational use of that interaction කියන එකට මොකක්ද ලියන්නේ සර්?
ඒ operational use of, explain the operational use of that interaction කියන එක තමයි ඔයා කියන්න ඕනේ. ඒ කියන්නේ මේ agent 1 inform කරනවා agent 2 ට කියන එක. ඒක තමයි operational interaction එක වෙන්නේ. right, ඒගොල්ලෝ අහන්නේ interaction
ඔක්කොම ටික ලියන්න ඕනේ නේද සර්? එතකොට CCTV එක රෙකෝඩ් ඒක මේ on කරලා රෙකෝඩ් වෙන්න පටන් ගන්න ඒව ලියන්න ඕනේ නේද?
ඒව ඕනේ නැහැ. මේ agent 1 agent 2 ට inform කරනවා කියන එක තමයි P එක ගැනනේ කතා කරලා තියෙන්නේ. ඉන්නක මම මාකින් ස්කීම් එකත් ඔහොම පෙන්නන්න. පේපර් එකේ මාකින් ස්කීම් එක තිබුණා. ඉතින් informing agent 2 to operate. That's all what they are expecting. Right?
හරි හරි සර්.
Right, okay. Then in the last point, they are asking the last fifth part, they are asking give one reason as to why CCTV inputs are sent to database through the agent 2 instead of sending directly. දැන් අපි එකට හේතුව දන්නව නේද? මොකද මෙයාට process කරන්න තියෙනවා දේවල්. දැන් මේ කෙලින්ම මෙතනින් මෙතනට ඊතලේ යන්නේ නැත්තේ ඇයි කියලා යහන්නේ. CCTV එකේ ඉඳලා කෙලින්ම database එකට save කරන්නේ නැත්තේ ඇයි? It is because the whatever being sent should be processed. මෙතන මේගොල්ලෝ කියලා දිනවා processed data of CCTV. Inputs are saved in database කියලා කියලා දිනවා. So processing කියන එක database එකට කරගන්නත් බෑ CCTV එකට කරන්නත් බෑ. CCTV can give the input, database can store. So there should be someone to process. So that is done by the agent 2. Right? So it says CCTV raw data input, right? Or the data input of the CCTV needs to be processed before storage in DB. The පහල කියලා processing allows data reduction, annotation and other value added functions කියන එක it's not essential. මේගොල්ලෝ මේ underline කරලා තියෙන point එක තමයි essential. Right? So A points දෙක කියවිලා තියෙනවා. CCTV data need to be processed before storing in the database. ඒක තියෙනවා නම් ලකුණු හම්බෙනවා. හරි. තේරුණාද? Clear the lamai? Right. Okay. Only last part clear than neither. Januda? Is that clear? Right. ඔය විදිහට තමයි ඔය 13th lesson එක. දාලා question එක එන්නේ. දැන් ඕක හරියට තේරුම් ගත්තොත් ඔය ප්‍රශ්නෙට උත්තර ලියන්න හරිම ලේසි. Right? ඒක නිසා පොඩ්ඩක් ඔය touch එකේ ඉන්න. Right? Okay. අපි discuss කර හිටපු paper එකේ ඔක්කොම ටික කතා කරලා ඉවර වුණාද? මට මතක විදිහට MCQ ටික කතා කරලා ඉවර වුණා. එහෙම නේද? අනේ Python ටික කතා කරමු කියලා මම තිබ්බා නේද? hand trace කරමු කියලා. මට මතක විදිහට.
ඔව් සර්.
එහෙම තිබුණා නේ. right අපි අද ඒ ටික කතා කරලා ඉවර කරමු. මට චුට්ටක් කියන්න අපි structured paper එකට අත ගැහුවේ නෑ නේද? නෑ. right okay. හරි. ඊළඟ දවසේ මම මේ group එකකට message එක දාන්නම්. මේ paper එකේ structured paper එක totally ඉවර කරන්න. අපි first question එක කතා කරා. second එකේ fifth question එක කතා කරා. right. structured එක ගෙදරදී ඉවර කරන්න. structured එක මම discuss කරනවා. structured එකයි second paper එකේ ඉතිරි questions ටිකයි. choices ගන්න එපා. try to write the entire thing, everything හැමදේම ලියන්න try කරන්න. අද මම මේ MCQ ටික කතා කරන්න. right. So in question 47 to 49 are based on the following Python program. So def func a comma b equal 10. So make overlook then program නේද? Python එහෙම අමතකත් ඇතිනේ. සමම පොඩ්ඩක් මතක් කරගෙන මේ යන්නම්. right අපි next week එතකොට මුලින් පේපර් එකේ තියෙන questions ටික කතා කරනවා ඊට පස්සේ තමයි PHP දේවල් ටික පටන් ගන්නෙ right all right මේක මම screenshot එකක් ගන්නවා right here it says now this def keyword is used to define a function ඒක අනිවාර්යෙන් තියෙන්න ඕනේ this is the function name so it should be according to the rules that we are talking about so should start from a letter or underscore then rest of the characters are going to be letters underscores and numbers that's all right and this is the parameter list it has two parameters a and b now b is having a default value මේකට කියන default value කියලා එතකොට මේ function එකට call කරන්න පුළුවන් ක්‍රම දෙකක් තියෙනවා right එකක් තමයි මේ variables දෙකටම values දීලා කතා කරා call කරන්න පුළුවන් ඒ කියන්නේ func 10 15 වගේ දීලා කතා කරන්න පුළුවන් නැත්නම් call කරන්න පුළුවන් එක variable එකක් විතරක් ඕම call කරාම b වලට default value එක ගන්නවා that is why default value is there right so inside the function they say a is assigned to the x 0 is assigned to the t දැන් මේ program එක execute කරාම මේ line එක මුලින්ම කරන්නේ read කරන එක මෙයාවත් එහෙමයි read කරනවා මෙයාවත් read කරනවා මේ function එක ඇතුලේ තියෙන ඔක්කොම ටික read කරන එක වෙන්නේ execute කිරීමක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ they are not executing it so from here to here it will read and this is the point it will get executed execution start වෙන්නේ මෙතනින් right then අපි execution start වෙන තැන ඉඳලා function එක කතා කරමු මොකද මේ ටික කතා කරලා තේරුමක් නැහැ මේ values නැතුව අපිට function එක execute කරන්න බෑ right okay so what is happening is execution happens from here so this 4 will be taken from the a and 8 will be taken from the b right now a is 4 and b is 8 right so they are asking about output so I am tracking the things so now a is 4 and b is 8 and they are saying assign a to x so 4 will be assigned to x so x is 4 now and t is 0 so t is 0 and it says for n in range a comma b so n 4 is an iterative structure n is the variable the iterative variable of 4 it says the range a comma b now a comma b means what 4 comma 8 so when range is on 4 to 8 right it's n is going to change n is going to change first time it's 4 then it is 5 then it is 6 then it is 7 8 we are not going to reach 8 python වල විදිහ ඒකයි range එකක් දුන්නොත් කියන තැනින් පටන් ගන්නවා ඉවර වෙන්න කියලා තැන තියෙන තැනට එකක් අඩුවෙන් ඉවර වෙනවා so n will change as 4 5 6 7 right So this is the first iteration, this is in the second iteration, this is third, and this is fourth. So here it says t equals t plus n. Now t is 0, right? I'll put n over here. So n is 4 for the first time. So then t will be added, n will be added to t, so t will become 4, and x will be multiplied by 2. So x will become 8, right? So, yeah. So මේක තමයි 4 වල අන්තිම line එක වෙන්නේ. Then it goes back again over here. Then do the iteration. Right? So n will become 5 now. Then t equals t plus n. Now t is 4, n is 5, 4 plus 5 is 9. X equals x into 2. So 8 will become 16. Then again goes back to the top. Then this is become 6. And t equals t plus n. 6 plus 9, it is 15. And x equals x into 2. That means 32. Then goes back again. N will become 7. T equals t plus n. 15 plus 7 is 22. X is into 2, so it is 64. Then goes back, it goes up, and range is over, so nothing is repeating thereafter. They are asking us to return t and return x. Now that is going to be a problem. මොකද function එකකට තියෙන්න පුළුවන් එක return statement එකක් විතරයි. So it goes with an error. Right? අපි මේක චුට්ටක් run කරලා බලමු. Return statement දෙකේ කතාව ඔය විදිහේ වෙන්න ඕනේ. Let's run it and see. Alright. Oh, no, it's not giving us a error. It's just, it returns 22. That's a special case. Special නෙවෙයි එක මට capture නොවෙච්ච දෙයක් කියා. It returns, it executes only the first return. It won't give you an error. Yeah, so it will give you 22. It's not the error. ඒක හොඳ point එකක් මතක තියාගන්න ළමයි. Return statements කීයක් දීලා තිබ්බත් ඒක error එකක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. First, only the first return will execute. First return එකේ ඉන්නේ t කියලා කියන්නේ 22යි. Right? This is how t is now. It's 22. Hari, තේරුණාද? ගැටලු තියෙනවද? Right. So in the 48th, what will be the output if the above information is called using function 5, like func5? Error එකක් එන්නේ නැහැ කීයටවත්. A කියන්නේ 5යි B කියන්නේ 10 එන්නේ. So අපේ එකේදී B ව අපිට yes. B ව අපිට උවමනා වුණා. But B ගෙන් අපේ output එකට මෙතනදී change we have to hand trace it and see again. Right. So let me change the calling statement right over here. So they are here just calling fun5. So it gives us 35. Hello. Right, so it is giving us 35. 135 වෙන විදිය ආයි hand trace කරලා පෙන්නන්න උවමනා නැහැ නේද? දැන් අපි උඩ hand trace කරපු විදිය කතා කරානේ. So it's 35. Only the third one is going to be the answer. So Harasu, you're so wet. My God. So I am dirty. Yes. Right, clear the 35 එන එක මම hand trace කරේ නෑ. hand trace කරන්න ඕනද? ඔයගොල්ලෝ කියන්න 35 hand trace කරන්න ඕන නම් අපි ආයෙ කරමු. ළමයි, is that okay? All right. Okay, so moving forward, 47 and 48 is done. 49, what is the type of first argument? Name B. First argument, name B, used in the above function. First argument, not the first argument. It's the, if they ask argument name B, it is called the default argument. So the 49, it is the second one is called the answer, the default argument. Which of the following is a characteristic of an intelligent agent? Reactive, proactive, social ability. So we can go for all. Because intelligent agent, generally the agents got all these characteristics. So it can be goes with the fifth one. We can go with the fifth one. Okay. ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවද? Clear ද දේවල් ටික? Right. හරි. මම එහෙනම් අදට සෙෂන් එක මෙතනින් නතර කරනවා. right විනාඩි 5ක් විතර කලින් නතර කරන්නේ ලබන සතියේ let's discuss the structured paper. අනිවාර්යෙන් structured එකයි essay එකේ ඉතිරි ටිකයි කරන්න. ගෙදරදී කරන්න මම ඒක දැන් group එකට දානවා message එක. So we are going to discuss that and later we are going to start PHP. Right? So we are only left with the PHP and the 11th lesson. So I'm starting the PHP, right? and we are going to discuss a paper in this particular manner. එතකොට මේක ඉවරනම ඊළඟ සතියේ මම තව paper එකක් දෙනවා ගෙදරදී කරන්න. right? ගෙදරදී කරලා අපි discuss කරමු. so ගෙදරදී කරන එක අසාර්ථකයි කියලා පෙනුනොත් අපිට පන්තිදී කර කර යන්න වෙන. මම පන්තියේදී තමයි papers ටික කරන්න හිටියේ. But I think you will be attend to these things, right? අනිත් අයට attend වෙයි කියලා අපි හිතමු. right? ඒ කරලා කරගෙන යමු. right? Okay, thank you very much for today, right? I'll be seen on the next Saturday for the same time, right? Okay, thank you very much, everyone. Right, okay, Onali, thank you.